make your own exemption.
Secretary.
Mark's gonna be
I'll
secretary.
be secretary.
Well, I'm secretary.
Now the deal with secretary is you were supposed to take the minutes and everything on it, not what
All right.
You're supposed to take the minutes, you're supposed to write the minutes and all that stuff up.
That's why he brought it up. He's gonna do that.
It has to be entered into a blank booking that we've got for all that stuff.
I don't know what their reason
Meeting after the October meeting.
The budget meeting.
But you were the only one there at that meeting.
But Sarah Galard wasn't.
Okay.
Want me to read it?
Go ahead and read the minute. That's the
Mandy
last meeting
Thomason
you had.
called the meeting to order at 5:30. Clarence Kirky, myself, and Mike Lewicki, Sarah Gallard, and Mandy Thomason were present. I don't think Sarah was present. The pledge, American flag, was led by Mandy. Minutes from the previous meeting will be presented at the next meeting. CD was invested into a new CD on October 12th, which it was. Interest went up a minor amount. The trustee purchased a printer 2 years in term to replace her printer that was used for 2 years of her term and broken during use of the township. It was $30 more than the one that had been purchased in 2014. Mandy spoke to the State Board of Accounts, Charlie Pride, and the printer will not follow the office. The new printer will stay with Mandy Thomason. Mrs. Thomason used her personal printer for the first 2 years because the officer copier that belonged to the Railroad Township was never turned over from the previous trustee. Mike made a motion to accept 2019 budget. Clay seconded it. Motion passed unanimously. Meeting was adjourned by Mandy at 5:36 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Mike Lewicki, Railroad Township Board Secretary. So I guess I'm the one that signs off.
In that minutes where you say that I never took, where the previous trustee never turned over the printer. The reason the printer wasn't turned over is because it was a printer we got for nothing from Little Company of Mary. Great big gigantic printer, okay? That's the printer we got. Took it to my house, leaked ink on the floor, okay? Called a repairman from the printer company, come to look at it, paid $200 to get it looked at. He said it's not worth saving or fixing. It states in there that I didn't give it to her. Well, the reason I did it because it's a piece of junk. It's in the trash at home. So everybody knows what that is.
I can verify that. I hauled
Yeah,
it in there.
that's right. Joe and the fireman hauled it in the house, big heavy cumbersome thing. It was a piece of junk when we got it. So everybody doesn't think that I screwed the township over. I did not. Okay? So, and another thing that I have sitting at the house that belongs to the township is an old retired lawnmower that the township had, that I had at the house, that Sherry Paulson bought to mow the cemetery, okay? When it came to my house, it wasn't running or anything like that when I was trustee last time. It wasn't running, needed wheel bearings and stuff. I put some money into it and it's still not worth saving, so it's just sitting, okay? It's basically junk. That's mentioned sometime in when State Board of Accounts looked at the previous records from the trustee. It's sitting there, it's junk, so everybody knows about that. I'm not hoarding anything, holding anything back from anybody. So I just want to clear that up with everybody right now. Yes.
So if you would have showed up at some of these meetings that we had that you never did for the last 4 years, you could have told us that, right?
I probably could have told you that, but I don't want to discuss that right now. I mean, let us get our business taken care of, and then we'll hear comments from the public afterwards.
Thank you.
Okay? We get our business taken care of. Now, everybody will get a couple minutes to say what they want to say, you know, but if you agree with what somebody else says, just say you agree with them, and we can move on, because I don't want to be here all day, and neither does everybody else, okay? All right, so you approve the minutes. Your next thing is the 2018 financial report. Okay, in that 2018 financial report is what was spent last year. Okay, and I think you just have to prove that. There's some questions in there about the attorney fees and stuff like that, which is listed under other services, I believe, right, Kane? Okay, and right now, she's digging through the books and trying to get answers from the attorneys as to what the breakdown of the attorney fees were. It's just like $30,000 and $20,000, but there's no breakdown in any of the bills as to what it was for. So we wanna know what it was for, broke down, so we can explain to everybody where the money was spent, okay? And I think that's about the only thing that we were worried about or concerned about in there, correct?
That, and she overspent her trustee budget because she didn't get the additional appropriation of $10,000 that she had included in the budget because the Form 3 wasn't signed and sent in. So the DLGF approved the 2017 budget to be used again in 2018, which was $47,000 in the township fund, and she spent $54,397, which the audit will have a note of that on there.
Did everybody hear that? What was that, what's that on? Okay. So that's basically the only problems we've seen so far in there. And then you guys look through that, and any questions? Of course, the only one, I'm sorry, Clay's supposed to be running the meeting, not me. I apologize, Clay.
No, you're good. So, we're gonna accept the financial report except for what they brought up?
Here's that one, this one.
No, here.
Make a motion to sign it.
There's different ways to approve it.
There's nothing we can do about it, is there?
Technically, there's nothing to do about it, it's gotta go with. I mean, it's up to the state board of accounts after they look at it, and she's contacted state board of accounts, and whatever they say will have to be done. All the bills are paid and everything's taken care of, just a few little minor discrepancies, which is being looked into. Yes, you have to sign it. Option one, let's see. The report received, accepted, approved by township board, and blah, 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 the report was received, accepted, by approved by following parts. I'd say we sign option one on top. Right there. You asked, you want to sign option one, where it was all approved?
And Roger, you need to sign next to Randy's name.
Okay. You want that?
Next one,
Next one.
2019 salary ordinance.
That just states what the trustees paid, the clerks paid, and what the township boards paid.
The trustee, we think, was supposed to be 12.5.
Was it?
It doesn't state that in the budget.
It doesn't state that on the budget.
But like I said, I can only get paid 5,000. There is, 459.
Well, no, not worried about that. I'm not concerned with that, you know,
The fire department can make the same as trustees.
Is this for,
2019.
okay, at that last October meeting, there was the question about the salaries. Do you remember that?
That's what he said,
Okay,
something about that.
I thought it was 12.5.
I thought so too, and I thought that everything was all accepted. Is that what you're looking for?
That's what Clay was saying, we just got it down as 12,000 a year, which I'm not concerned when it says 12.5 or what, but 12, I mean,
I'm
you're not in this to get rich, believe me.
No, I
You know.
understand that,
I mean,
I didn't know, I'm
So
just,
he's gonna go for this 12,000
We're
instead
just
of
gonna go-
12.20?
we're gonna go to the 12
Okay,
and not worry about
so he's taking a pay cut, volunteering. The clerk is $5,459, but she can only make 5,000, so she's taking a pay cut. The clerk is spouse of the trustee, 5,000 for nepotism ordinance, okay? Township board, 3 people, 750 each, paid in December.
why are you taking cuts?
The most that I can be paid, since I'm his spouse.
Oh, I
and
got you.
not being
it. Gotta be in compliance with the
problem
law.
with the nepotism.
Oh, I got you,
Yep,
okay,
the most she can get is $5,000 since she's married to me.
okay.
If we were divorced, I could get more money, but that's not gonna happen.
I don't even think
We
about it.
wouldn't discuss,
But, yeah, it's not worth the money. But anyways, so everybody knows that the trustees 12,000, clerks 5,000, each member up here gets $750 paid in December. That's $750 a year they get. Okay, now you guys need to approve that.
I'll make a motion, to accept.
I second it.
Three yeas.
Okay.
Yeah, sign that paper.
That one approved.
It's this one right here. Everybody needs to sign that one now. Just sign it on the bottom, right?
You guys have time to read the contract with the fire department. Bart, did you have time to read the contract with the fire department?
No, I didn't do that yet. Didn't do that.
The fire department's already had that looked at the contract and okayed it already. I'll have to have Chad sign another one, because we put the other stuff that they liked in the contract, so it's all what they need.
W-2 forms, we
The
need.
forms,
No, I didn't put that in, we won't be doing this.
the W-2, but it has to be done by their CPA. Your CPA has
Because
to
you're
do that.
paying them 12.5, you're
Yeah.
paying them.
Yeah, we're not paying them individually, that's right, we're not paying you individually. We're giving 12.5 for the contract, so your CPA will take care of your your W-2, your W-4 forms, okay? Basically, we're not writing out single checks to everybody. As a trustee, you guys will be sending checks out, dividing them how it has to be from the 12-5. Okay? So, I mean, it's nothing that's crooked or wrong about it. I mean, I don't want anybody to think that. You're getting a public accountant, certified public CPA to do your Sanpere Fire Department stuff. And then you have your checkbook, and your checkbook, we'll be writing checks to the firemen for that, for the end of the year, for that, okay? I mean, I understood what you wanted, but, and basically, if you need any help as far as guidance, we'll help you, you know, I mean, other than that, the contract's the same as it was, okay? There's nothing different in
Something we did.
Except we wrote a big CPA.
It's basically the same thing that was done before as a fire department.
And that whole amount of 12.5 will be split up between the members
Right.
accordingly, and
Right.
it needs to all be spent down to the penny.
And it's not our decision how to spend it, or how to pay them, it's their decision.
It's your contract.
Yeah, it's your contract.
And this is Sanpere Firehouse, and it's all Sanpere. Can I make a motion to leave it at Sanpere Firehouse for the rest of its days unless voted on in a public vote? That ever changed?
Sanpere Fire Department, leave it for the rest of its born days,
Yeah.
and the public changes it. Unless the public wants to change it, it's gonna remain Sanpere Fire Department.
I second too.
The board has to second. The board has to second. Okay.
And a third.
Good. So from now on, it's always gonna be Sanpere Fire Department.
The attorney fee thing just blows my mind. Just a lot of wasted money.
It was ridiculous, a lot of wasted money for nothing. Nothing was proved, nothing was gained, everything was lost. I mean, it's terrible what happened, but
Okay, now, another question will always come up, the insurance through the township. We have a liability coverage minimum of $300,000. Each member bodily injury is $100,000. Property damage caused by fireman acting the scope of his duties. So, as long as they're on this roster, they're always gonna be insured.
as long as they're a member of the Sanpere Department, they are insured no matter what.
Up to 20 members.
Up to 20 members right now, and if we get 25 members, all of it takes is one phone call to put on 5 more members. There's no such thing as eliminating one person or 2 people from the insurance. If you're a member of the department, you're covered by the insurance, automatically.
What was that, Marty?
21, hang on, let me write it here. You got your
Can
page
the
up,
fire department approve the contract, they'll like it?
$300,000 covering liability of the fire department of each member for bodily injury and $100,000 property damage caused by firemen acting in the scope of their duties. Okay?
And right now there's 15 members.
Right now, we got 15, right?
The current one is on the thing, yeah.
There's 15 members right now.
Yeah, all it takes is a phone call to Roger.
Yep.
The other name can be put on.
Right. Doesn't matter. You know, we're insured up to 20 members right now. And like I say, if you get 25 members, if you get 21, all I gotta do is call the insurance man, boom, it's covered. There's no questions about being covered. I mean, it's very simple phone call. So, okay.
Say it. Say it. Make a motion.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Prove it. Okay.
Everybody approve the contract? Yes.
Now you gotta sign, you want just one sign, you want all of them signed? Should we sign them all?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I'll need one.
Hey, Chad, can we get you to come up and sign?
You'll need one.
So we gotta sign all of it.
Sign all of them, yes.
Your name's on it. Your name's on it.
For the people that don't know right now, Chad Schumacher is the fire chief right now, and he's gonna remain that way until we change, until the members vote to change anything. I don't think they'll have a problem with that, I don't think anybody will. So, We got 4 total. Tammy's got to give you guys. Tammy. I give one to Tammy. I give one to Tammy for the fire department. Okay.
I got one.
You got one. Here's one right here. Here. There's your 4. Okay. Also, to do on the fire department, the big hullabaloo was over a truck that was purchased from La Crosse. Okay. It was purchased with donation money from La Crosse. We have a letter, I didn't bring a copy of it, from Mike Lewicki, the man that donated all the money for that truck. And in that letter, he states that that truck is supposed to stay at Railroad Township. No matter what fire department is here in charge, it stays with this building, with the Railroad Township. Currently, I have no idea where it's at, but I understand either Andy or Bobo has got it, okay? So, my plan is, the board knows about this right now, my plan is to send them a letter, give them a few days to get it back to the fire department where it belongs. If they don't, then I'll go to prosecuting attorney and press charges on it. Okay, because the truck, with the letter we have, and it's a donation, according to law, a donated vehicle cannot be sold or it basically has to stay here. And I've gotten word from other fire departments where Andy's called around trying to sell it to them, trying to give it to them and everything else. He can't legally do that. It's illegal. So everybody knows that I was sending a register letter to them, those two more likely, to get it back here where it belongs. So if anybody asks about the truck, that's the only thing that I've got a problem with right now. Is a rescue truck is what it was?
Yeah, it's just like the Suburban.
Okay, and then also the fire department, they're working on training, and I don't know if I don't think there's anybody in the rescue yet, correct?
Not yet.
Okay, but,
We have CPR classes coming up in February 4th at La Crosse to get our guys CPR AED certified. And then in March, North Judson Fire Department is offering training for first responders. We do have a couple of our guys that are interested. I just found out about that today from Joe Leslie. Judson has helped us out greatly as far as anything that we need, training or anything of that sort. They're willing to help, same as with La Crosse and Maderaeville.
so the other fire departments are mutual aiding us, helping us, because they realize what we're going through right now to where we're rebuilding. But everybody in the township can be assured that there is protection there for you. There's no problems, you know. So, and we're concerned with that just as much as anybody else is in the township. So, and I've talked to Joe Lessig and the La Crosse firemen, and they're helpful, and they're willing to do that for us. Anybody got anything else to do with, I'm sorry, Clay.
I'd like permission to purchase the voice recorder to be able to record the meetings when we have things to do for the commissioner and council meetings. And then we write it.
I'll make a motion.
You're gonna have to talk up.
She knows.
There we go.
Okay.
He wants
Okay.
karaoke.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's in the insurance policy. Sure. That, we're paying the insurance on that truck right now. So and the whole thing's a screwed up mess. The truck has to come back here, period.
The last time I seen it, it was sitting in front of Bobo's house.
Oh, yeah? Two firemen, two ex-firemen that haven't turned over radios and gear. Do we have their names? Okay, those two also? Okay, so that'll go along in the letter also. Okay. Truck and equipment.
Yeah, that's the only two radios.
Gears.
Double check with Chad, and I think so far I think that's the only two that were, Chad,
There's just two guys that haven't turned in their gear? Former firemen?
Four, I have.
Four? Okay, Andy, Bobo,
Right now, I can't, the other two, I gotta check the roster, I can't remember the name.
okay.
Kyle's here.
Right
there
here.
are trainers, there are trainees, right? Aren't they on the front?
Well, the other two are, I have two more, but they are going through their class at lacrosse.
Okay.
They will be on Sampier.
Okay.
So,
So they're
I'm
just-
allowing them to use their gear.
Okay.
Until they,
Okay, so there's basically two that, now there's four, but there's two in question. The two of them are using gear because they're getting training.
I got two more, that, like I said, Kyle's one, we're gonna talk here today.
Okay.
And then there's, can't remember the other guy's name right offhand. I'll have to
So are there just four people or are there six?
It's four.
There's four, but two of them you're talking about coming back.
Two
up.
of them are coming here, so
Okay,
those we
all right.
don't worry
So-
about there.
so don't worry
just
about
got
it.
the two.
We got the two
We
guys.
got four.
You got
Four
four.
guys. There's six, all right, here. I got two that are at lacrosse.
Okay.
They're already signed, don't even worry about them. I have
Okay.
four that I'm worried about here.
And two of them, which are Andy and Bobo, and
I
there's two more?
There's two more.
Okay.
One on Brad Perkins?
No.
No, he's one of the guys that were.
He's at lacrosse.
Cause he's on the list.
If you give me the names, cause I'll send them a registered letter that they need to get it back to you. Okay, when you get a chance, when you find out who that is. There'll be four of them. Okay, but these two I'm concerned with the truck, is what I want that truck back, period.
Who's got the title?
The title, I presume, is with the truck, so, I mean, and I understand that the title was put in,
Andy's mom said it was with.
it is with the truck? Okay, all right, so, either way, we're paying insurance on it, it belongs back here, according to the man that donated the money, we have the letter to the effect that he donated the money for Railroad Township, whatever fire department was working out of Railroad Township, not just Railroad Township Fire Department itself, so it belongs back here at this building, and that's where it's to stay at this building. So, we'll get that, I'll get those two sent out, and you let me know on the other two, okay? I think that's the only thing that I had extra on fire department, so if anybody else has anything on the board, fire department.
Like to get rid of township property, wouldn't the board have to approve it and we could send it to a public auction?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
To sell any public township property, it has to be approved by the board, and you can take auction where it needs to be. And that being said, okay, I'll have to tell you this too. The school, or the church that bought the school, give me their last payment, which is $41,000 at the beginning of January. I got the last payment, which they're free and clear. Now the paperwork, I have to get the paperwork started to deed the property over to them. So they paid that whole bill off, so there's nothing outstanding there. I forgot about that, so.
They're gonna be worried about.
No, they're not gonna be no. No, believe me, I'm not gonna spend the money. I'm not that. And if there is, it will be the county attorney, Marty Lucas, which he most generally doesn't charge me anything to talk to, so.
I'll make a motion to turn the deed over to him.
Okay. Okay,
To this church.
Was that second?
yeah. Okay. Anything else? I mean, I'm shut up now.
I Alright, the last one, other items to be discussed. Does anybody have any questions?
On the board.
Oh,
I do first.
On the board, hold on. I make a motion, we add Sampier on top of what they already have, and, or whatever stickers they need.
You can see the outline.
Yeah, you can
So
see the outline,
we
it'll clear it.
can- If we can get that like matched up pretty good.
Yeah.
That way it won't look overwhelming, sort of, and we can keep costs down.
Right.
I think, no,
Yeah, it's what it always has been,
we
and
could probably go
that's
try
my
and-
motion. Whatever they need to get.
We should be able to get it pretty close.
Who done the lettering on the truck? Anybody know?
It's
what'd you say, Joe?
Who did the lettering on the truck? Who changed the letters? Anybody know who did that?
Who was on the department, do you know? Travis?
That was done through somebody that,
Wasn't Sign Right Signs.
no, it wasn't. I'm trying to think of her name now.
They from Wanata?
No, it was a private person through, oh, I'm trying to think. Her name, she was the EMS here.
Yeah.
Yes, she found somebody to do the lettering.
We'll find somebody to do it. Okay. So you made a motion, second, you approve?
Yep,
Okay.
all good.
Okay. Continue on, sir.
Anybody else on the board have any questions? Open to the public. Joanne?
There was a question you had said about attorney's fees and not getting, paperwork, a breakdown. Did you get any paperwork that had redacted?
No.
Okay, there's supposed to be a full accounting of all, of the breakdown of all the charges. At that one meeting we had, there was redacted bills that were offered up, and I believe that was August or September. And that was a big hullabaloo because everything was redacted, and it was stated that was an attorney-client privilege, that that information was not to be made public. However, when I called the State Board of Accounts, they said that was supposed to be all public knowledge. So somewhere, there are copies of bills
Now,
with the
bills
breakdown.
I got did break down what the topic was that she was charged for.
There was
But
breakdown,
the Sanpere Fire Department was right at 30,000.
and that was all that it said?
That was it.
There's a breakdown of charges.
And she's called the attorney, because she does it for me, to get a breakdown of everything on that, which is what we're working on.
There was paperwork,
And when we get that, everybody will know what it's for and what happened on it.
because if I recall properly, it was offered up, if you wanted copies of the redacted bills, you could have that. And I made my smart comment and said, what good is that gonna do when we can't see what's underneath the blackout? So there's paperwork.
We're working on trying to find it. Okay.
Did she ever ask the board's approval to hire a lawyer?
That I don't know, that was before I got,
No, she did not. I can vouch for that. She did not ask
Any
the
place
board.
in the minutes, there was no board approval.
No board approval on that.
If I remember correctly, it was brought up that she didn't have approval to hire that lawyer.
and then all of a sudden it was asking for more money.
Yeah.
And that wasn't approved in the 2018 budget. She did spend it.
Yeah, the money wasn't approved in
She'll get
2018 when
enough
she
for
spent
that.
it. Okay. You got anything else, Joanne? No.
Yeah, cause there was no
Yeah,
approval.
that was a separate,
You know, the 60,000 was an additional appropriation.
Right.
That was approved.
Right.
That was done properly. The
Right.
next year, she asked for an additional $10,000
well, I don't
in
know
the
about that.
budget. And it wasn't approved.
Oh, right, because there was no budget, because you
Right.
vetoed the
Yeah.
attorney's fees. So, and then the new budget that come up, there was $5,000 that was appropriated in there
For this year.
for this year.
somebody made the comment that when I get to be a trustee, I will increase the tax rates. The tax rates have increased every year for the past 4 years. And I have no plans or no dreams of increasing any tax rates in Railroad Township.
Who designates that increase? Do you have any idea? Is it the
Does what?
Who
assessors?
designates the increase?
Who asked for an increase?
Yeah,
It's in the budget. When you work up your budget, you determine how much money you wanna get from property tax, and that's how you set
Tax
the
rates.
amount.
And then it goes to the council. The council has to approve it in Stark County.
I don't think they
And then
have
the
to
state
anymore.
has to go approve it too.
so that's not governed under Stark County, that's governed
No, Stark
within
County
the,
doesn't have anything
No.
to do with.
governed within the township. Okay.
So, okay.
So when the state wants their money, they get their money.
Yeah, well, does the state come in and say you need to up the ante?
Yeah.
Do
I
they
don't
do
think that,
something
no,
like that?
as far as I know, they don't come in and tell you that you gotta up the ante,
Okay.
you know. If you,
No, because they look at the amount of money you have on hand.
right, they look, see
and
what you're
that's
sitting
what
on.
they go by.
You know. And if, say you wanted to build something or buy something, then you might wanna raise the taxes, but I see no reason right now to do that to anybody. It's not called for, so. Okay?
I wanted to make known about.
Right, no
papers
problem,
for
no problem.
returns, because I know there's paperwork for it.
Okay. Back to your court claim. Anybody?
Questions? John?
You said that, the taxes based on money on hand, because, is it set because you have more money in your capital or less?
The state looks and see, if you request a tax increase, the state would look and see what you've got.
Oh, if you request the
Yeah,
tax
if
increase.
you request a tax increase, the state will look and see what you got and then deny it or okay it. That's what it amounts to. And we don't plan on making any tax increases.
Question to the board, congratulations for the new board. Do I have a question for you guys? Did you guys just today receive that, fire contract? Or have you had it for a couple of days?
They just got it today.
We just got it today, but I've talked to the chief and
Well, I was just concerned, because that's a pretty important thing. I would have thought you would have had it in your hands before, so you could go over it, so you didn't have to sit here and read
That's
it.
probably my fault, cause I didn't get it to them quick enough.
Oh,
You know,
have you seen?
But I mean, we
And
talked
I've
about
seen
what's
it.
in the contract. and
I talk about what's in it and seeing it is two different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's
Because,
basically the same contract, John, has always been prior to this last year. It's the same thing, you know.
but I was just
Right,
wondering, because
right.
if they didn't get it,
Right.
I mean, we went through that with the last board, and I don't want you guys to turn out like them, because they were just a bunch of puppets.
I was aware of it, John.
I know. It's just,
There ain't gonna be no puppets to me, believe me.
well, you're already starting, because you're running the thing, and he's sitting here
Well,
going,
I have a habit of doing that,
I
because I've been other
understand that,
meetings.
but, you know, these guys need to take
They will-
charge of the position they
It'll be,
have.
I promise I'll keep my mouth shut next time.
Because you guys are working for the township, I
Don't lie
mean,
to
helping us out.
Do what?
Don't
Don't
lie
lie
to
to you?
We can run the meeting and